So today we are going to start the discussion on state management. So first let's understand what is the meaning of state management. Whenever you are making a request to the server, okay, so when your request reaches to the server, let's say you have requested for some page, say ABC dot some page, say HTML page, whatever page you have requested, that page will be shown to you. So now you will get the response of this page, that is ABC page. You are able to see this page. So let's take the example of say online shopping application. So you go to a particular website, you select the category, then you start observing the different products are there, then you are interested in a specific product, so you go ahead and start reading its features, its what is the price of that product and so on. So after maybe spending half an hour and so, you say okay, this is the product I like, and then you simply click on add to cart. And then since you like the website, you wanted to buy some more products, okay, so you visit another page where maybe it's a page of some uh, fabrics, so you go ahead and start selecting some other things from there, and again you say add to cart. So what server is doing, whenever the user makes a request to the server, after receiving the request, the server processes this page. I told you earlier also, the server this page, and what it will generate it will generate the HTML output. Okay, this HTML output is then given back to the client. So client will now receive the HTML output of the corresponding page. After sending the output to the client, the server will forget about the client. See, suppose I am the server, you are the client, you are sending the request to me. So what I will do, I will process your request. You requested for abc.html page. Okay, I will find the abc.html page. I will process that page and I will generate the HTML output. I will give you the HTML output. And during this phase, whatever I have done, I will simply delete all my work on the server and I will return the output to you. So next time when you come back, since I deleted everything, I do not know you. So for me, again, you are a completely new customer. So I have to, accept your input and then again do the processing and give you the response. Getting my point, everybody? So server does not remember anything about the client. Every request is treated as a fresh new request. Every request is treated as fresh request. So the server does not remember anything about the client. So coming back to our shopping cart application, if you visited a website to buy some product and let's say you wanted to buy a laptop. So for a laptop, you will say, okay, let's go ahead and add to cart. After that, you wanted to buy a headset. So you selected some headset and to this also you say add to cart. Now, since server is not maintaining any information, it will simply delete whatever you have selected the moment you reach to the headset section. Then you go ahead and select, let's say, a pen drive. So for the pen drive also, you will say add to cart. Again, the server will treat you as a new user, so it has already deleted everything that you had earlier selected. The moment you go for make payment, now you'll say, okay, I need to make the payment. The moment you click on make payment, what is happening here? The server will say, please select an item. Because the server is not remembering what you had selected earlier. Because every request is being treated as a fresh new request. The moment you visit another page, your previous selection is completely gone. So this, why this is happening? Because HTTP is considered as a stateless protocol. HTTP is considered as a stateless protocol. It does not maintain any information of whatever the client has done till now. So obviously we do not want this. First tell me before I move ahead. Are you okay with this concept, whatever I have explained?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So now since it's a stateless protocol, we don't want means we don't want such an application. We want that our information must be saved on the server. Okay, so for that we have to maintain the state of user. If the user has selected the laptop, I need to store this information. If he has selected a headset, we need to store this information, and pen drive also. Means whatever selection the user is doing, we need to go ahead and maintain that information. So we have to maintain the state of the user, and we have to do this programmatically. Programmatically. And this is termed as state management. Okay, maintaining the state of the user across multiple requests. So we are making so many requests, and we are maintaining it programmatically, and that is termed as state management. Okay, so now the question is, where do I save this information? I hope you understand that this information like laptop, headset, pen drive, I have to store this information. So obviously I require some memory block in order to store this information. Now, where is the memory block? So there are two options that I have. One is the client's machine. I can store this information in the client's machine, or I can store this information on the server machine. If I am storing the information on the client's machine, it is termed as client-side state management. And if the information is being maintained on the server side, it is termed as server-side state management. Getting it, everybody? समझ में आ रहा है कि हमें क्या करना है? बाय डिफॉल्ट तो सर्वर हमारा स्टेट मेंटेन नहीं कर रहा है. वी नीड टू डू इट. हमें प्रोग्रामेटिकली वो करना है. सो वी रिक्वायर मेमोरी, राइट? कहाँ पे स्टोर करेंगे? So we can store the information either on the client's machine, or we can store the information on the server machine. If the information is stored on the client's machine, it is termed as client-side state management, and if it is stored on the server side, it is termed as server-side state management. So how you will understand this? Let's assume I am the server and you all, whoever is the participant here, you all are the client. So when you send a request to me, if I am storing your information, it is termed as server-side state management. That means server is responsible for storing all the information of so many clients. The other way around, if you store your information, I will say, okay, you maintain your information. Then it is termed as client-side state management. Am I clear? These are two techniques we have, okay? Client side and the server side, depending on where the information will be stored. All right. Now, what are the benefits of using client-side state management? Can you think over it? What can be the benefit of having a client-side state management? That means client is maintaining the information. So here one thing you need to understand, how many clients are there? Several clients are there. And how many servers are there? There's only one server. So it's a one-to-many relationship. So if we go for client-side state management, what will be the benefit?
And the server will not have a overload because all the
correct. There is no load on the server. No load on server. This is the plus point. Okay, so I'll just write here plus. So the plus point about client-side state management is there is no load on the server. But then what is the negative point about client-side state management? To understand this, let's take an example. Let's say you all are client, you come to me and you say, I want to select a laptop. So I will take a piece of, let's say Karan is coming, okay? So I'll take one piece of paper, and on top of that paper, I will say, okay, Karan. And then Karan has selected a laptop. I will write down. And this piece of paper I will give to Karan, and I will say, okay, Karan, take this page with you. And next time when you come to me, please come back with this paper. Similarly, when Rutuja comes, so Rutuja also comes with a blank paper. I will write on top of that paper Rutuja, and Rutuja has selected a specific laptop. Let's say she is interested in an HP laptop. So I write down HP laptop and I give it to you. Then similarly, Vishal comes in. So for Vishal, again I'll create one piece of paper and I'll say, okay, Vishal, he has selected so and so device, like that. And I give the piece of paper to you. This is client side state management. In this technique, when you next time come back, means if Karan is coming back, he should come back with the same piece of information. So when I read the piece of information, I can understand, okay, Karan had selected a laptop and now he is selecting a headset. So on the same piece of paper, I will say, okay, laptop you already have, now I am adding headset. And again, I will give the piece of paper to you. So when you come back to me, again you come back with the same piece of information where I have laptop, where I have headset, on top of it it is written current, and now I am writing pen drive and give the paper back to you. So can you imagine the amount of data that is traveling between the client and the server? समझ में आ रहा है कितना डेटा ट्रैवल करेगा हर एक क्लाइंट और सर्वर के बीच में?
Yes, ma'am.
So that will involve or that will cause the traffic over the channel. All right, that will increase the traffic over the channel. This is one limitation of the client-side state management. Another limitation will be that there is no security. Because if this information is traveling over the internet, whoever will get this information may access this information, they may tamper with it, they may modify this information. So there is no security here. Then another drawback that we have is a size limit. In some of the state management techniques, there is a limit of the size. देखो अगर सर्वर क्लाइंट को डेटा भेज रहा है ना वो नेटवर्क पे जाता है सो यू कैन नॉट सेंड अनलिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन सो सम ऑफ द टेक्निक्स हैव द साइज लिमिटेशन एज वेल देन देयर इज another question that is a reliability. There is a possibility or there is an option to disable some of the client side state management technique. That is why I will say it is not a reliable technique. So are you clear with the negative points that we have discussed here? कोई point है जो आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो मुझे पूछो. हाँ?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everyone okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So whatever positive point we have seen here, that will become the negative point for the server side state management, and whatever negative points we have seen, they will all become the positive point about the server side state management. So here the benefit is, sorry, this has come here. So the benefit of using server side state management is we do not involve traffic over the channel. There is no size limit. It is highly reliable and it is completely secured. So these are the plus points. But the negative point is there is too much load on the server. So we need to maintain a balance. Always we should not go for server side. Always we should not go for client side. We need to maintain a balance. If my information is not very critical, it is not very sensitive, then why not go for client side? And if the information is highly sensitive, I should use server side state management technique. Okay, so that way we are going to maintain a balance between the two techniques. Now, what are the client side state management techniques? So the first technique is hidden field. Hidden field. Then next one is query string. And then we have the concept of cookies. So these are the client side state management techniques. And then let's go for the server side. So on the server side, we have the concept of session. And also you can maintain the information using database. So these are the two techniques we can use for maintaining the information on the server side. ठीक है, यहाँ तक तो सबको समझ में आ गया मेरे ख्याल से. कोई डाउट है?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss these concepts one by one. So first I will explain the hidden field concept. So what is hidden field concept? See, I told you earlier, 1 minute, I'll just run this, what we had done in the previous session, Python main.py. Yes, in the previous session we had discussed so many things on this one. Display dict and all those things we had seen. So if you observe the code of display dict, here you may see that we had used for loop, then we had used end for, etc. Right? Here also some coding has been used. So this is the Python code. And if you observe this code, if you go for view page source, you can observe this is a completely clean code. There is no for loop here. Everything was executed on the server, and what was sent to the client is purely HTML. Are you understanding what I am saying? By the meaning of
Yes, ma'am.
server side processing, जब request server पे जाएगा तो सर्वर पे जो भी कोड होगा जिसके अंदर आपने curly brackets वगैरह लिखा है, जो भी Python का कोड लिखा है, that will get executed on the server and equivalent HTML output is generated and that output is sent to the client. ठीक है, ये तो समझ में आ गया सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we will just close this. So first I want to discuss the concept of hidden field. So what comes back to the client is HTML. मतलब जब रिक्वेस्ट सर्वर के पास गया, सर्वर ने रिक्वेस्ट को प्रोसेस किया और आउटपुट क्या जनरेट किया? HTML. Now this HTML which is going to go to the client, ठीक है, ये जो हमारा HTML है जो अभी बन गया है, and this I am going to send to the client, वो HTML आउटपुट क्लाइंट को भेजने से पहले उसमें मैं कुछ डेटा भी इंसर्ट कर दूं. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? अभी क्या हो गया, रिक्वेस्ट सर्वर के पास गया, सर्वर डिड द प्रोसेसिंग एंड इट जनरेटेड द HTML आउटपुट. उस HTML आउटपुट के अंदर हम क्या कर रहे हैं? अपना डेटा इंसर्ट कर दे रहे हैं. Then the question is, how will you insert the data? What is HTML? HTML is basically a collection of tags. So we have a bundle of tags here. समझ में आ रहा है ना? HTML में क्या रहता है? Tags ही रहते हैं ना? So we have a bundle of tags here. So what this HTML is, what this hidden field is going to do, आपको क्या करना है? कुछ डेटा क्लाइंट को भेजना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द आइटम ही हैज सिलेक्टेड अ लैपटॉप. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल यूज इनपुट टाइप. जैसे आपका इनपुट टाइप इज इक्वल टू टेक्स्ट होता है, इनपुट टाइप इज इक्वल टू पासवर्ड होता है, लाइक दैट यू हैव सो मेनी ऑप्शंस. सो इनपुट टाइप इज इक्वल टू, ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज राइट हिडन. नेम इज इक्वल टू से प्रोडक्ट and value is laptop. So when you write this thing, it becomes one tag of my HTML. And what goes to the client is HTML. So this is pure HTML code. So this code will go to the client. Now the name is hidden. That means this tag will not be visible on the browser. ये tag हम directly browser पे नहीं देख सकते. ठीक है? So how we will see that? We can just click on view page source and we can see the information that was present in the hidden field. Are you getting my point? Hidden field क्या है? It's on HTML. Input type is equal to hidden, name and value. So while sending the response to the user, we are adding one input tag and that will be sent to the client, and this will have the information about the product. So this is actually very important concept that we are going to use later on, but as of now we are just learning it how to use it. ठीक है, ये समझ में आया सबको hidden field का concept? So let's go ahead and implement it. So I'll say, are you clear everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me create a new folder. So we need to start, or we need to create the object of Flask. So We will have the main method here, and then we have to write app dot run debug is equal to true. Now first thing what I will do is I will create one form where the user will specify the username and first name and last name, and this information I want to send to the client using the hidden field. So first of all I'll set this there entry. So here I'm going to now create this file that is entry hidden. So first I need to create a folder that is a templates folder, and inside that folder we will create this file. So first we are asking the user to enter the first name. So this is for the last name, and then I will be creating one submit button. So input type is equal to submit and value is equal to store. Now for storing the information I want to create a hidden field control. So currently I'll say hidden, input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to say uname, and then value. So currently I don't have the value, but what will be my value? It will be in some variable, say uname. So please look at the code. What I have done is I have created one HTML file in which
form
banana builder. Thanks. Form method is equal to post. एक्शन नहीं लिख रहे हो तो वो सेम URL पे पोस्ट हो जाएगा. So here form method is equal to post. Then we have F name and L name. These are the two text boxes we have. Then we have a submit button, and then input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to uname, and value is equal to uname. तो ये पेज रेंडर हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Now I will use the get and the post technique also. So methods equal to get, and here I'm going to write post. So if request dot method equal to get. So if the method is get, then we are going to render the form. Then f name is equal to request dot form, and here I will write f name. So here we have accepted the f name and L name, and after that I wanted to send this information back to this form. ये जो हमने नया नाम जनरेट किया है ना, so I'll write here uname is equal to, let me have the basic concatenation. So let's have a space here and Lname. So now I'll say return, and again I'll say render template, same page, entry hidden dot html, and then I will write uname is equal to uname. We are passing the data using this technique. So let's run this page. So let me go for
रिक्वेस्ट इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ?
रिक्वेस्ट इंपोर्ट
रिक्वेस्ट। ठीक है, रघु ने अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लिया। हाँ, गुड। विशाल का क्या हाल चाल है? प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो विशाल? विशाल
हाँ मैम।
कर रहा है ना? तबीयत ठीक हो गई तुम्हारी?
नहीं मैम, अभी खराब है।
क्या हो गया?
मैम फीवर और कोल्ड दोनों है।
अच्छा, चेक कराया ना? Okay, so here if you go to the page source, look at the page source. Here you can see first name, you can see last name, and then look at the hidden field section. Currently you have nothing here, right? दिख रहा है ना? Name is equal to your name. There's nothing in the value section. So now let me enter some data here. And then if I hit the store button, and now let's go for view page source. I think I clicked it twice. Okay, let me just do it one more time. So, okay, now let's go for view page source. So can you see this? Input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to uname, value is equal to the data that we have passed. So here, this is the browser, right? Browser means client. So I have received the data in the HTML form in the form of the hidden field control. So this is how the data is being sent to the client in the form of hidden field control. Are you able to understand this point? कैसे हमने data pass किया? Simply you have to create one HTML tag here. The name of the HTML tag is input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to uname, value is equal to uname. ये पॉइंट सबको समझ में आ गया हिडन फील्ड का?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's go ahead the next concept. So we have covered hidden. Now let's go for the next concept, query string. What about the other participants? Prajakta, are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Raghu, समझ में आया?
Yes मैम।
Okay. And Ravina, are you able to understand? Okay. So now let's go for the next concept, that is query string. So first we need to know what is a query string. Whenever we are using form method is equal to get, then what will happen if you have created some bunch of text boxes, like just now we had seen that there is a form and there are two text boxes, and the first text box name is f name, the next text box name is l name. Let me just do that. If I just change this form method is equal to get, default is get. If you do not write anything, it is considered as get method. So now let me just enter something. You can see the information like this. So this part is actually my URL. Okay, this was the position or the location where the request was being sent. So we have the format as URL. What is after the URL? After the URL, there is a question mark. So there is a question mark. What is written after that? You can see there is something called as name is equal to value, and name equals value. So there is a collection of name and value pair. We call this as a collection of name and value pairs. This is termed as a query string appended to the URL. So whatever we have inserted or whatever data we have, this data is being created in the form of name equals value, name equals to value, all of them concatenated together, and they are appended to the URL. This information is termed as a query string. So in order, see, when we are using hidden field, So what is hidden field? That you have some data, you pass it to the HTML file. Now this data is available only for this file. We cannot use this information in any other file. अगर आपने hidden field बनाया है तो जिस पेज के लिए बनाएंगे केवल we can use it only for that page. That information is not available to any other page. So if I have say page 1 and my requirement is to pass some data to page 2, then from page 2 I want to pass the data to page 3. So we want to pass the data from one page to another or this page to this page. Then how do we do that? We can use the technique of query string. So let's understand this by taking an example. So here, let me write here app.root. Again, let's write here entry query. So again, I will take the similar, almost same code we are going to write. So let's take this one. So here I will change this to input query. And then we are accepting the first name, last name. Let me not write this. Now, I want to redirect the user to another. So here I will say redirect. So now I want to redirect this information to say display. And then let me write here, see the pattern I am writing here. Display question mark fname is equal to. Then this value is coming from this variable fname. So I will do a string concatenation here. Plus, then we require the and symbol. You need to respect this syntax, okay? You see the name value pair has been concatenated and symbol. So I have to use and lname is equal to and then write here a plus and then lname. So this way we have created a string and we have passed it to display. So else has display. Now I need to create this page, that is entry query page. So let me save this. So that's all, and let me use the method as post because I just want to collect that information. Then we will create a query string and then we will manually pass it to some other page. So let's run this URL. So I need to go to this URL. So this is the page. Now we enter this data. Oh, redirect has to be imported. So I need to import redirect. So let's do it once more. So can you see this? We have been redirected to display with the query string. Are you able to understand query string कैसे बना वो तो समझ में आया आपको? I have some information and I have created the query string by writing display question mark fname is equal to value and lname is equal to value. By writing this, we have created a URL. Okay. So now I see my request is going to which section? Display. So I have to now create a method with this routing configuration. So app.root and here I will simply say display. So there display. Now, whenever the information is coming in the form of query string, how do you access that? You write request dot args dot get is the method and you specify the name here. So we wanted the data from fname. Then we have lname is equal to request dot args dot get lname. So we have fname and lname, and now let me just show a hello message. So I'll say hello and then I'm saying fname. This is just to show you how you can access the query string information. So let's start from the beginning. This is our starting page. Now I pass some data here. So now at this URL request, we can see the message hello and the data. So if the data is coming from the query string, then we are using a little bit different technique. Here we have to write request.args.get to access the data. Am I clear, everybody? Query string समझ में आया सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will go for the next technique, that is cookies. I think everybody must have heard about cookies. Whenever you are using the websites, you see that
Yes,
term,
ma'am.
right? Please enable your
Yes.
cookies, otherwise this website may not function properly. That is something very common, right? So cookies is one of the most commonly used client-side state management techniques. Okay. So first, let's understand what is a cookie. So cookies are small bit of information stored on client's machine. So we have some small amount of information which we are going to store on the client's machine. Then how is it different from the hidden field concept and the query string concept? Please listen to me very carefully. This is very important. When we are using hidden field is one of the tag of an HTML page. So it is confined to that page. समझ में आ रहा है? अगर आप हिडन फील्ड यूज कर रहे हो तो हिडन फील्ड क्या है? उस पेज का एक HTML टैग है और दैट टैग इज नॉट अवेलेबल ऑन द अदर पेजेस. जिस पेज में वो आप बनाओगे you are able to access it only on that page. It is not available to any other page. But so this is one limitation of hidden field. Then we go for query string. So what we saw in query string, you can pass the information from one page to another page. मतलब अगर आपके पास पेज 1 है तो आप पेज 1 से डेटा पेज 2 को पास कर सकते हो यूजिंग क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग. Similarly, you can pass the data from page 2 to page 3 using query string. So this way you can pass the information. That is fine, right? ये भी समझ में आ गया? What if I have 50 pages in my website? Sometimes even more pages. I may have hundreds of pages in my website. And I have some information which I want to use on several pages. So am I going to pass this explicitly from one page to another? Complexity आप समझ रहे हो? आपके पास एक information है जो आपको almost बहुत सारे pages में चाहिए और maybe you want it on every page. So are you going to pass this information explicitly from one page to another? ऐसा करेंगे क्या हम? Is it practical or is it feasible for us?
No, ma'am.
समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ? What I'm trying to say, are you able to understand? Classroom में ही देखो ना, आप सब students हो समझो. Assume you all are pages of a website, okay? और मुझे एक information है जो सबको देना है. I cannot write it on the board. So what I'm doing is I'm taking one piece of paper and I give it to Rutuja. Then if I have to pass it to some other Karan, तो Rutuja क्या करेगी? Karan को pass करेगी. Karan रघु को pass करेगा. So one by one I am passing the information. तो अगर कोई मिस हो गया तो वहां पे वो डेटा नहीं मिल पाएगा, which is of course not a good practice, right? And there are other limitations also with query strings that I forgot, that I missed. Okay, so some limitations of query string. Its size limitation is there. So size can be 2 KB. You cannot go beyond 2 KB. राइट जो डेटा आप क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग में स्टोर कर रहे हो वो 2 KB से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता. एंड यू सॉ राइट इट इज विजिबल ऑन द एड्रेस बार. thereby it is not a very secured technique. So that's why we do not prefer using the query string technique sometimes. Okay, कुछ जगह पे वो simple है तो वो हम still use करेंगे, but always we will not prefer that. So we have another option, that is cookies. So how is cookies different? First thing, it is not stored at the page level and we don't have to pass it from one page to another. Cookies are stored on the client's machine, so it may be stored in the browser instance. मतलब आपने अगर गूगल क्रोम ओपन किया है तो आपका जो कुकी है वो किसके अंदर स्टोर होगा? इट विल बी स्टोर्ड विद इन गूगल क्रोम. That is one approach. Okay, so this is one way. Or it may be stored on the user's file system. That means it is stored on my hard disk. Are you understanding? ये जो कुकी है ये कहाँ पे स्टोर होता है? ये हमारे पेज में नहीं स्टोर होता है. इट इज गेटिंग स्टोर्ड इन द ब्राउजर इंस्टेंस. जिस ब्राउजर के थ्रू आप अपना वेबसाइट देख रहे हो, इट गेट स्टोर्ड इनटू द ब्राउजर. और इट मे बी स्टोर्ड ऑन द यूजर्स हार्ड डिस्क. अगर वो कुकी ब्राउजर में स्टोर्ड है, सो इफ यू क्लोज द ब्राउजर, व्हाट विल हैपन? अगर आपकी कुकी आपके ब्राउजर में है और अगर आप ब्राउजर क्लोज कर दोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा?
The data will get cleared.
Correct. That is known as a temporary cookie. We call this as a temporary, or also it is termed as a non-persistent cookie. Then we have one more option, that we can have something called as persistent cookie. So this is called as permanent cookie, or we also call this as a persistent cookie. Because now it is stored on my file system, it is there on my hard disk. So even if I restart my system, the cookie is still there. That is basically termed as a persistent cookie. Okay,
मैम
so we have these two options. हाँ,
मैम जब भी हम लोग ब्राउजर से क्लियर हिस्ट्री करते हैं तो एक ऑप्शन आता है क्लियर कुकीज करके.
करेक्ट.
तो
हाँ
मैम वो कुकीज वो हार्ड डिस्क में होता है क्या, मतलब?
हाँ, अगर
हाँ,
आपने
आपने बोला कि
रीस्टार्ट किया है और फिर भी वो कुकी है. हाँ
हाँ, तो मैम जो जो हम लोग
बोलो.
कुकीज क्लियर करते हैं वो मतलब परसिस्टेंट वाला है ना, परसिस्टेंट कुकी है ना वो?
अभी देखो, अभी आप मान लीजिए आपने ऑलरेडी सुबह से पीसी ऑन किया है और आप बहुत देर तक वेबसाइट ब्राउज कर रहे हो, यू विजिटिंग वेबसाइट्स, सो मेनी कुकीज विल गेट क्रिएटेड. उसमें आपका टेम्पररी कुकी भी रहेगा, परसिस्टेंट कुकी भी रहेगा, वो दोनों रहेंगे आपके पास. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो व्हेन यू से
यस मैम.
क्लियर कुकी, इट विल क्लियर बोथ द कुकीज. ठीक है, वो पूरे कुकीज को डिलीट करेगा, टेम्पररी भी परसिस्टेंट भी. वो मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी, तो आप कैसे चेक कर सकते हो कि टेम्पररी है या परसिस्टेंट है. वी विल सी दैट आल्सो.
ओके.
ठीक है, तो जब जैसे वो रिमेम्बर में ऑप्शन रहता है ना पासवर्ड के लिए, वो टिक
हाँ
करते हो,
हाँ मैम.
तो have to enter your username and password. That is basically the persistent cookie example.
ओके मैम.
ओके, क्योंकि वो हमारे हार्ड डिस्क पे जाता है ना, इसलिए नेक्स्ट टाइम मुझे लॉगिन करते समय ऑटोमेटिक यूजर नेम पासवर्ड आ जा रहा है. आई एम नॉट एंटरिंग द यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड अगेन. दैट इज बेसिकली द persistent cookie example.
ओके.
Am I clear?
यस
Okay,
मैम.
so now let's go ahead and see the example of that. तो मेरा मेन पॉइंट ये था बताने का कि कुकीज और हिडन फील्ड, ये दोनों ही टेक्निक का लिमिटेशन, सबसे बड़ा लिमिटेशन ये है कि हिडन फील्ड इज एप्लीकेबल सिंगल पेज, whereas query string is accessible to the page to which it has been passed. मतलब अगर आपने क्वेरी स्ट्रिंग को पेज ए से पेज बी को पास किया है, सो इट विल बी ओनली अवेलेबल टू पेज बी. पेज सी, पेज डी को वो डायरेक्टली नहीं मिलेगा. बट यू आर यूजिंग कुकीज, इट इज लाइक अ ग्लोबल डेटा. अगर आपने कोई इंफॉर्मेशन कुकी में स्टोर कर दिया है तो वो डेटा आपको सभी पेजेस पे डायरेक्टली मिलेगा. इट इज लाइक अ ग्लोबल डेटा यू हैव क्रिएटेड फॉर योर वेबसाइट. समझ में आ रहा है? अगर कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन, समझो यूजर नेम आपने कुकी में स्टोर कर दिया है, तो वो डेटा आपको सभी पेजेस पे मिल जाएगा. यू डोंट हैव टू एक्सप्लिसिटली पास टू अदर पेजेस. क्लियर है?
यस मैम.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. हाँ, नाउ लेट्स गो फॉर द डेमो. So I'll be taking the same example. We'll have the same thing, username or first name and last name we will accept. So here we have to make this part. Now we have to Okay, so first I will just create this page for creating or asking the user to make the entry. So nothing is going to change, right? We just have to ask the user to enter the first name and last name. And when he submits, we'll come back to this section. We'll accept the username and password. यहाँ तक तो now another thing. This is client. ये हो गया आपका client और ये हो गया आपका server. Whenever the client is talking to the server, so it goes in the form of request. Client का information server के पास कैसे जाएगा? Request के form में जाएगा. Now, the server is going to send something to the client. So that will go in the form of response. Server अगर client को कुछ भेजेगा तो कैसे भेजेगा? Response. Till now we have used the request object. हमने बहुत बार request object use किया है. Now look at this again. थोड़ा इसको समझने की कोशिश करो. हाँ, आप हो client, आप अपने ब्राउजर पे कोई URL टाइप करते हो. For example, you are typing this URL. कोई भी एक URL ले लो. Entry this thing. So when you open your browser, let me just copy this URL. ठीक से समझो. हाँ, इस concept को समझो. Concept is most important. ना syntax तो कैसे आप Google से भी देख सकते हो. Once you understand the concept, you should be able to do a lot of things on your own. Server is not running, I guess. I'll just start this server. And here I wanted to demonstrate just the concept of request. So here, देखो, आप URL से भेज रहे हो, this is going as a request to the server. मतलब client से request किसको जा रहा है? Server को जा रहा है. समझ में आया?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And then when you are typing something, अभी ये जो पेज आपको दिख रहा है, इसको आप थोड़ा सा समझो. हाँ, ये फटक से होता है इसलिए हमको समझ में नहीं आता है. You type something to this URL. This is going as a request to the server. सिर्फ आपका URL आपने टाइप किया था ना, तो वो सर्वर पे जाता है. This is this request. And then the server will check. अच्छा, मेथड कौन सा है? Get. तो मुझे क्या करना है? उसको पेज शो करना है. So when you are observing this page, this is a response I have received from the server. ये जो पेज हमें दिख रहा है, ये क्या है? Response है जो सर्वर से आया है. Now I type some data here. And then I'm going to hit the button. तो जब मैं ये बटन हिट करूंगी, वो फिर से किधर जाएगा? सर्वर के पास जाएगा. So this will be again a request to the server. और वो रिक्वेस्ट सर्वर प्रोसेस करके मुझे वापस ये चीज भेज रहा है. That is a response. Is everybody okay with this concept? Request और response में difference समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
It happens very fast, so हमको mix होता है ना, समझ नहीं आता है कि क्या हो रहा है. So whenever you are typing something to the URL and you hit the submit button, you are sending the request. Server will do the processing and send us the response back. All right? ठीक है? तो यहाँ तक आज हम stop करते हैं. Next section में we'll cover the cookies and then we will go for the session concept. Please do not miss tomorrow's session. It will be very, very important. Okay? I will mail today's code to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.